Hi, welcome to Mystic Frequency. I'm Lisa, and I'll be your collective tarot reader here today on February 14th, 2026. But no matter when this reading finds you, especially further down the road, there is a message here that your guides are trying to give you in this time period. Now, you are more than welcome to dive into the description box below, so that way you can go ahead and click the timestamp and get the reading started while I get the rest of the intro out of the way. But I do want to give everybody a happy Valentine's Day today, so make sure to spend a lot of time with your loved ones, or even take this time to give yourself the love that you need today, or give a friend a little bit of love, maybe even a stranger you may see on the street. Just giving them a compliment and letting them know that they are loved, and that, you recognize them as a human being, a spiritual creature. But I'm excited for this reading because I wanted to put a little bit more emphasis on love. Love focus, love within your subconscious trying to come through, love within your career, and even love with your own specific relationships and even your inner child today. So if it is a little bit lengthy, you're more than welcome to kind of speed up the whole video so that way you can get the information that you need, or you can stick around and just enjoy the flow and how everything kind of like unfolds itself. And always remember that I can only give, personal experiences. I can't share professional advice. I am not a doctor or anybody that has a title of any kind of sorts other than just being mystical in myself. And whatever you see today, this does not mean you should only take this information and run with it. You should know your situation a little bit more better than I would, and you know what you are going through, and this is only going to helpfully give you a starting point, or to just kind of think about the things that are going on in your life. And if it starts to not resonate for you while you are in this reading, there are a couple of reasons for that. One of the reasons is that you may be really close to someone, and this could be a loved one, a friendship, someone at work. Really, it's anybody that you are in contact with, that you walk next to, work with, and your guides are using you like a radio signal in order to pass that frequency message along the way. So I encourage sharing if you know anybody would benefit greatly from this reading. And the second thing, if it is not resonating, is this is a tool that can be used if you ever come across this situation. And the more tools you have in your belt, the more successful you will be in your life. I would much rather have every size Allen wrench in my pocket than to try to tackle a project that needed, the smallest one that you would need, or even the really biggest one that you would need. So take it as a gift that you can give to yourself in this moment, and never try to make something click when it, it isn't specifically for you. But I'm excited. Let's go ahead and dive into your reading. We have Pisces energy coming through today. You do not have to have Pisces in order for this reading to be really close to you. This is just the energy that is trying to come in to help you show more love for yourself and love for others. And that is by being very intimate with your emotions, intimate with your own mind and the way you think and process things, and how you openly embrace others in your world. And really thinking about how your guides have been sending you messages at all hours of the day and into the night, just making you aware of the things that may need a little bit more healing in your life, or if you need to maybe help someone else, especially if you start having dreams of someone that is, they're going through quite a bit, and you're not sure why you were dreaming about them, and then you end up finding about it down the road. Oh, well, this was talking about them. My guides were wanting me to kind of come in and be a mentor, a teacher, a counselor, someone who could, give them a shoulder to cry on if needed. And just having more compassion and empathy for those that you are around. Now, you can bring people, into your heart, but that doesn't mean you have to bring them into your home. You can, even forgive in this moment. I know today is a really big day for some, and there are some that don't have, that connection that they are yearning for. So giving yourself the connection you need and not shaming yourself for any kind of past upsets, or where you're starting to feel you are lacking or not even good enough for whatever the situation may be. Pisces wants you to be compassionate and understand that you are enough, and you are someone that helps heal others. So allow yourself to be that healer that you need as well. And just carry a gentle softness with you, especially after you get through this reading today. Find ways to carry your gentleness so that way you can connect with others and just be a little bit more sensitive. And, I said it a little bit, let yourself have human experiences as a spiritual creature after today. Now, before I dive in to these other cards, let me go ahead and talk about this crystal that is coming through today. And it talks a lot about, these gifts that you have that you may not be expressing, or even ways that you can be just more original and thoughtful of the things that you were giving to others. So this is Amethyst Phantom Quartz. Amethyst Phantom Quartz fosters prolific energy and opens the crown chakra to channel creativity in all its forms. Individuality is encouraged, and uniqueness in expression is embraced by this stone. Amethyst Phantom Quartz instills confidence in your creations and urges you to share your talents. Using intuition as a powerful resource, Amethyst Phantom Quartz connects you with your spiritual team to convey your ideas in a way that will stand out. Do yourself a favor and show the world what you've got. And we have Jupiter in Virgo, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. And then we have Neptune in Virgo, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So there's a lot that needs to be worked on with, responsibility, expanding areas of your own responsibility, and finding ways to shed the skin that you have that is not helping you move along in your relationships or even help you create things, and finding an innovative idea that can help progress the collective forward or even progress your own life. So that way you are not struggling. And with Neptune coming through here, focusing on, what is creating any kind of limiting beliefs, or, what are those dark thoughts that may be going on, even is what I'm getting through with this. But don't let, something to prevent you from finding ways to create more things that make you feel more original and express yourself in a different way. Your inner child oracle. So this is one way that you can show love to your inner child. There are many different ways, but today, think of if you've ever went to a school that gave out Valentine cards, or even have you ever been on the receiving end where you didn't get a Valentine card, or you didn't have the money to purchase a Valentine card? Well, finding a way to heal that part of your body where you were wanting something, or just a written confirmation of how worthy you are as a person. Writing down our thoughts and emotions can help us to become more aware of them, as many things reside within us that we might not know until we give them space to come forth. Now is the time to write a letter, either to your inner child or as your inner child. Have patience with this process, giving yourself plenty of time in which to do it. Give yourself a little bit of space to do so. This is a really healing act. I have done this multiple times for myself, and I'm a firm believer in writing a letter. And some of the self-love that you could be giving yourself today is manifestation is magical. Make it work in your favor. When you understand what it takes to manifest whatever magical concoction you may be trying to brew today, then make it work in your favor, especially if you have something worth to give. If you know you want to give a piece of your heart or a piece of your wisdom and creations to another person, make it work in your favor today. And then for your divine feminine, we have, and this is a big thing, this has came out already once this week. It's okay to validate yourself and not seek it from others. You do not have to look to others to feel as if you are good enough or worthy. I know I've probably said that multiple times already, but it is okay to validate yourself and not seek it from others. All right, let's dive into your tarot cards, and I'm going to go ahead and flip them over. Now, I set the intention with my tarot reading today to only focus on upright meanings, so that way I can look at ways in which you can bring more love to each areas of your life and help it grow. And I'm actually going to go ahead and reveal the affirmation each queen or card is going to say. So the Queen of Swords, one of the biggest things that she wants you to understand as an affirmation for you is, I am enough. I am enough as I am. And the Queen is one of the most independent, feminine kind of energies that you can experience. And they always use direct communication to get to the heart of a matter and telling it like it is with honesty, integrity, so that way people understand what boundaries she is setting and what others need to understand they are not to cross. So your focus in your life is setting clear boundaries for yourself, being independent, validating yourself, validating your actions, and understanding why you are not going to let some weaker, less vibration come in and make things harder for you, especially down the road. But you're basically taking a stand on something and only listening to anything that is truthful and honest in that moment. And you really are probably enjoying your own company. I know that when people are doing a lot of healing in their life, they find that at one point they wanted to have that validation from another source. And so they were constantly chasing it and trying to bring it close to them, but it just kept running from them. And the more that a person pours into themselves and uses their mind and not to let their heart constantly get beat up in the process, they are healing themselves and they are finding the value of, that quiet time, being alone, giving yourself the things that you want rather than waiting for someone else to give it for you. And this Queen of Swords, if this is someone that you are currently around or even expressing, with your own personality, you are trying to explore how to do that, how to express that love in a way that resonates and communicating that with others. This is how I show my love. This is how I am, and not letting how you say it come off in the wrong way. And if anyone did have a problem with your version of how you do show romantic expression or even how you deal with relationships in your life, then the tower moment isn't something to make you feel bad. The tower moment just means that you are not going to let anyone come in and make you feel a certain way about how you are as a person. It's okay for you not to want physical touch. It's okay for you to express your love through words, through, poems. Well, I can't really say poems, but you may like to write poems, but you just like providing, advice and being able to counsel others and bring balance to people's worlds and having impartial judgment when it comes to your relationships. But you are someone that is willing to make tough decisions when it comes to your future, so that way you do not feel as if you are lacking, especially if you are at a point in your career where you are not making financial growth, or if you know that you're going to need to cut a loss here where you are leaving a job so that way you can take better care of the relationships that are around you. But I'm going to go ahead and lean into the career area since I'm already talking about the Five of Coins. The Five of Coins affirmation is, I am a creator. You can create different outcomes very easily when it concerns your career. You can either be the person that is okay with going without, or you can be the person that basically says to another person, I am not going to let you cause the financial strain that I have in my life. If you cannot give me the necessary resources in order to take care of myself or even my own family, then I'm going to leave. You are okay with leaving a job that is not fulfilling, that is not rewarding, that does not give you a sense of purpose. You are okay with leaving a job that does not let you communicate, or a job that prevents you from, calling things out as you see it, like the Queen of Swords would do. If you see injustices, you're going to call them out. And if no one's going to fix them or address them, then you have no problem leaving. You can create many job offers for yourself where you can find financial stability. And yes, it may be a little bit hard right now, so you're going to need to put a lot of love in this area of your life, especially with the Tower kind of coming into play with the Five of Coins and this kind of abrupt change that is going on. But spend a little bit of time of showing love in this moment, or even if you have someone in your life that has just lost a job, just lost their career, and is not able to get back up on their feet because of the financial strain of the job market, where it's kind of hard to find anybody that'll take an interview. I know when I worked in retail, February and March were even April, were real dry months for us. So we found that we had to cut back on hours, and even my hours were cut back, and it became really hard to afford things around that time period. But this is not something that is going to set you back, but you are going to notice how it is affecting a lot of the people you are working with, and you may even feel that strain. You may be even creating solutions for them so that way they can prevent a full blown out Tower moment in their world. Or even if you know someone is not pulling their weight and you're having to make specific cuts, it is very clear you are going to be able to, especially if you are a leader at work, you're going to make clear decisions on who is pulling their weight and who is causing the most financial loss when it comes to our business and our projects, and who is not helping create what it is that they are being paid to create. And I know that can seem really hard for some if that is a certain situation that you are in, where you're having to make really tough decisions about, how are we looking at our budgets. But this is also telling you to reset your standard for living in case you do need to leave, and starting to cut back and save if you need to, and look to those who can assist you, or if you are able to assist those who are facing hardships with connections that you have. If you know they're not a good fit here, then you already have a door that is right there waiting for them to go through, and it's up to them ultimately to go through that door. And not allowing worry to sabotage your worthiness of gaining financial stability, because you are enough, You are someone that can create a lot of financial abundance when it comes to your career. And when rumors tend to rise, or when others start to, push their own energy onto you, it's like you should know your worth. You should know what it is that you can create versus what someone else can create. So never try to pick up someone else's energy and hold it as your own and make you feel as if you're going to lose your own job. Whatever the situation may be, don't, Pisces energy, they're very, very empathic and very in tune with what is going on around them. So just be very clear about, what you expect of others and if they are putting more strain on you. And then in your relationship field specifically, which I feel like the Five of Coins may be putting a little bit of more strain in your life, or someone that you are really close to. And there is a need to have open conversations so that way you don't let a financial difficulty put a strain on your bonds. And revise your approach to finding what is a deserving relationship where you are not chasing the wrong person that may be constantly going through these battles right here, where they can't hold down a job, so there's constant tower moments, or they let their personal issues, they take it out on others. Focusing on those type of relationships in your life that are not bringing love to the situation, where they're not being very compassionate to themselves, so they're taking it out on others. And this is creating that rift that is going on. But divert, and you may even find that you are being diverted from putting focus on your relationships to put more focus onto your career, because it is in a sense of lack and needs a little bit more of your loving touch to, put what you need here. And so it may feel as if everyone you basically went independent mode on them and started tackling one of the biggest problems that you had. And now it's like things may be kind of like falling around your relationships. And, there's just a lot of external events that need a lot of support right now. And the Tower here is saying now is a great time to be grateful for these moments that cause a lot of strain, that cause a lot of upheaval, that bring these awakening revelations in our life, so we can see how do we sit with those that are next to us that say they are standing by with us. Are they helping us, or are they hurting us? Are we giving more than we should, and that's what's causing us to go without? Or even, let's say your partner has an expensive taste, they're very bougie and have to have the finer things in life, but you're the one that has to work the hardest for it. And that causes you to, go without. So look at those kind of relationship dynamics that may be going on in your life, but be grateful when these Tower moments do happen, because they show people's true character and let you know whether or not that this is a true partner you want to stand by, or if they're going to run the instant that you have your own Tower moment. My in my experience, especially with my husband, we have been through so many different obstacles in our life. We have been through a flood incident. We have had to constantly start over and move whenever we needed to balance, work and home relationships, especially when my kids were born. And it caused a lot of strain on our life. And there were times where it felt like we were beating our heads against each other and nothing was getting done. But the instant we allowed actual open communication to come through, We were able to have a breakthrough that was necessary, so that way we didn't feel as if one person was taking advantage of the other, or not noticing how one person contribute to the relationship versus the other. So be very grateful to, these moments that, things are difficult. Love is not easy. It is something you have to fight for. You have to be willing to fight for those true connections that you want to keep in your life, and those true connections that you openly and honestly want to have a couple words with. And another piece of advice that you can do, not just for your inner child here, when you find you are under a lot of stress and you are finding like no one is letting the other person finish their sentence, they're just attacking, they're not seeking to understand. They want to be understood first before they understand what is going on with the other person. And if it's just a constant fight and someone has to have the last word, or redirect, or spiral back to some past issue that has occurred in the past, some kind of tower moment that sprung up where they reminded you of the constant times you've had to, change what you were doing at work because it wasn't working for you, write a letter expressing, how are you feeling in this moment? What is your needs that you are needing? And what are your hopes for the future? And, provide a solution of, this is what I need from you in this moment to help this relationship not feel as if it's straining. And being open to, and if there's anything that I am doing that is causing this bridge to collapse, then please let me know. It's having that open communication, or even having a mediator, someone who is not tied to your relationship and knows nothing about it, and can come in and listen to both sides of the equation and see where the imbalances are, so that way they can provide that experience, that professional experience that can come through for this. But the Ace of Swords is wanting you to feel courageous. If you have something you need to say that's been on your chest, be courageous and say what it is, so that way it doesn't build up within you. Oftentimes, when we have a tower moment coming in, you can oftentimes avoid a major fallout with open communication. Everyone deserves that. They deserve to be able to say what they are feeling, but not projecting that feeling onto another, or projecting their own traumas onto another person, projecting their feeling of lack onto another person. It's up to the individual to be able to find their own worth and not create these self-fulfilling prophecies that make them constantly go in these cycles of change and conflict. But let's look at your Moonology cards that are coming through for the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords wants you to know that you and your loved ones are safe, while you are putting more focus on finding ways to be more independent at work, being more independent in your relationships, and being able to communicate with those that you love and not make them feel as if you are building up a wall. You are just spending some time on, areas of your life that need a lot of focus. The Five of Coins, we have, what do you need to release? What is something in your life that is pulling your bank account down? Or what are some spending habits that you find others are doing, or even the budgets that may be at work that you can probably cut back on? Or are there too many people on one project and we need to move them to a different project so that way the budget doesn't go under? Or even areas of feeling as if you are going to lose your job. If you constantly are worried about that, or people are going to leave you if you lose your job, or even releasing the conflict, releasing the how you feel about money in general that makes you feel as if you are not abundant. But think about what you need to release when it comes to your career. And then for the Tower, we have 2. We have, it's a time to give rather than take, and then it's time to take action. If you know a Tower moment is coming, now is the time to take action and think about how you are going to rebuild yourself from this, especially in your relationships, and a time to give rather than take. So are you on the giving or are you on the taking end, or are you the one that's been given a lot of the backlash? You've been letting people just say what they want, and you've kept your eyes closed to the situation. And now it's time to protect the things that you love with your own weapon, your own words. It's time to take action here. And this can even talk about, thinking about those people that are going without, that need a little bit of help. How can you give to someone that is going through financial, like a financial crisis in their life? Is it someone that you know that is normally independent, and then they go through this? Because life happens. It happens to those that have things, and it happens to those who don't have things. And when it happens to people who are used to being stable, this can shatter their whole world and make them feel very broken. So be grateful if you have, all the things that you need in your life that make you sustainable, because there are a lot of people out there that are struggling with that kind of mindset, and be good to kind of share that wisdom with others. And then for the Ace of Swords, we have a personal issue reaches solution. And I love that this is coming through, because we've had a lot of Capricorn energy that has said things that have been really hard are finally reaching that end point. So now a personal issue is starting to reach a resolution because of you being courageous. Now, my dears, I know it looks a little hectic and all over the board, but I want you to bring love into your areas of work, your areas of your relationship, and your own self today, and find ways to create less mindset around lacking and validating yourself that you are enough and you can create any kind of situation that you want. You can either create more stability in your life, or it can be that dual end of the sword where you can also be the thing that destroys what is preventing you from creating. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here and let y'all have a good rest of your holiday. And I probably didn't say it, but if today was your birthday, happy birthday. Thank you for making it another trip around the world. And like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I am currently getting ready for a reading for the new moon, so look out for that, guys. But I'm heading out.